Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine planning your entire life, maybe even your career, right? And then suddenly, one letter, one unexpected place just completely reroutes everything.
Yeah.
That's basically the starting point for our deep dive today, and honestly, it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
We're exploring the journey of Zachary Payne, a guy whose life took him from Utah mountains to Madrid, then Hawaii, even Peru.
Quite a path.
Yeah, and our source is a personal transcript, so we're getting his story, in his own words, our mission, to
Yeah.
kind of pull out the big lessons from his choices, see how following passions, even unexpected ones, can lead to this really rich life. Maybe unconventional, but rich.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how often the biggest shifts, the really significant ones, come from directions we just never saw coming.
Mm,
Zachary's story, it's more than just like a travel diary.
right.
It's really a testament to the power of immersion, living intentionally and constantly redefining what success even means.
Hmm.
We'll definitely hit some aha moments thinking about wealth differently,
Yeah.
how limits can actually spark creativity,
Hmm.
and, finding a way to be okay with seemingly contradictory beliefs. It's quite something.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Spain, he's 19, a Mormon missionary, expecting Russia or Africa, like he said. But the letter comes back. Madrid, 2 years.
And no Spanish beforehand,
Yeah,
just Julio Iglesias.
exactly. Just Julio Iglesias. He even checked out these library books, picturing donkeys and tiny streets,
Okay.
lands in Madrid. And it's this huge modern city, totally different from Salt Lake City. He called his first 4 months the Mario Brothers experience.
Mario Brothers, okay.
Yeah, like you go down a subway tube, pop up somewhere completely different, like a new world, genuinely lost half the time.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Dropped in a huge city, no language, feeling like you're in a video game, just trying to get around.
That's intense. And that Mario Brothers thing, it really nails a key idea, doesn't it? True immersion. He said they just throw you in. You're always with a partner. But that constant, immediate need to communicate in a foreign place,
Yeah.
that's a catalyst.
Yeah, sink or swim.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And he admits it was a struggle. Took over a year for things to really, click.
A whole year.
Yeah. But he made this deliberate choice to go all in, only Spanish, even when his vocabulary was tiny.
Right.
He mentioned this funny nickname, the Indian, because he'd say things like, hoy, tener hombre, like today, hungry, me, all unconjugated verbs.
Uh-huh.
But those little efforts, that persistence, it worked. And the big moment for him, dreaming in Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah, he said it blew him away. And even dreaming with both Spanish and American people in the same dream, just switching languages back and forth.
That's when you know it's deep in there.
Exactly. It shows how much a language can become part of your subconscious when you really commit like that.
So that mission experience, it clearly changed things for him. As it was ending, he thought, wow, Madrid would be really fun if I wasn't a missionary.
Uh-huh. Makes sense.
And that sparked this desire to go back, not for the mission, but just to live there, go to university. So he did. Enrolled in a Spanish university, super inexpensive because it's socialized education there.
Right.
And he studied Spanish literature, not just to get better at the language, but to really dive deeper into the culture too. He talks about falling in love with the place and the language, making great friends, really immersing himself. Now, Madrid, he says it's not like Barcelona, maybe not the top tourist spot people think of first.
Okay.
But its charm is in the neighborhoods, the barrios. Each one's got its own character, its own music scene, grunge, jazz, heavy metal, you name it.
So really diverse.
Totally. You can just get lost walking and step into a whole different world.
Mm.
He mentioned Malasaña, Plaza de Mayo being this grunge punk hub.
Mm.
And the culture was just fun. Even protests were fun, apparently.
Yeah.
No need to make plans. Friends would just be out, drinking on the street.
A very spontaneous social life.
Yeah, this cañas culture.
Yeah.
Grabbing a beer outside after work, he actually said that helped him learn Spanish
I think so.
because it was quieter than a noisy bar, easier to actually hear and talk when you're still learning.
That's a great point. The environment itself becomes part of the learning process.
Definitely. And he threw in a funny detail. His university classes were like 75–80% girls and only a few foreigners. An added bonus, he called it.
I bet. But seriously, that point about the environment is key. How much does our setting help or hinder our growth? For him, that relaxed outdoor social scene wasn't just enjoyable. It sounds like it was crucial for his language, for fitting in culturally.
Yeah, finding a place where you fit that supports your learning, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. It's often more effective than just sitting in a classroom.
So this whole experience clearly stuck with him. He goes back to Utah after that first year in Madrid, starts pre-med, wants to be a doctor. That was the plan.
The original plan, right?
Yeah. But then this conversation happens at the hospital. He's talking to a resident finishing up. She asks him, is there anything else you'd rather do besides be a doctor?
Interesting question.
And he admits, yeah, he'd love to live in Spain again. And her advice was just, boom. She said, you can either do that now or you can become a doctor and maybe never do it.
Wow. That's direct.
Totally. She told him, look, if there's anything else you want to do, try it first. You can always come back to medicine.
That's powerful advice. Hits you right between the eyes.
It really did. But, for a lot of people, dropping pre-med, that feels huge, risky, like failure almost.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It takes guts. How do you know if it's the right kind of detour, versus just running away from the hard stuff?
Good question.
I think what Zachary shows here isn't recklessness, though. It's more like calculated courage. He heard that advice. You can always return, and trusted it. The insight maybe is seeing these detours not as failures, but as explorations. They add to whatever path you end up on.
Right, gathering experience.
Exactly. Prioritizing growth, knowing one door opening doesn't mean another closes forever.
And his parents were supportive. Amazingly so. He told them he was dropping pre-med to go back to Spain, and they were just like, okay, as long as you're studying something.
That's incredible support.
So he did. Finished his degree, went back to Spain, got a master's in teaching Spanish as a second language, ELE, they call it, which he said actually helped him figure out how he learned Spanish himself, since he never really studied it formally at first.
Sort of meta learning.
Yeah.
Understanding the process itself. Very cool.
So, okay, master's in Spain done. You'd think he's set there, right?
Seems like it.
Nope. Life throws another curveball. He wants to do his PhD in Spain, but apparently his U.S. bachelor's plus the Spanish master's wasn't the right combo for the program.
Oh, bureaucracy. Always fun.
Right. So, the workaround. Hawaii.
Hawaii. How does that connect?
His older brother lived there, and the University of Hawaii had a master's in Spanish literature. If he got that, then combined with his other degrees, he could get into the Spanish PhD program later.
Okay, so it was a strategic detour.
Exactly. A 2.5-year strategic detour to Hawaii, living with his brother's family. And this is where the ocean comes in. And some really big life lessons. He grew up in the mountains, remember, only saw the ocean at 12. So Hawaii's a big deal. He tries longboarding. But the waves there are steep, tricky for his big 10-foot board. So he switches to body surfing, bigger waves, and just clicks with it. Loves it way more.
Interesting. Why body surfing?
He said it's like being 100% connected to the ocean. You feel the power directly on your body, no board in between. He even called it feeling like a dolphin, especially without a hand plane, just you and the water.
I can kind of imagine that. Very direct connection.
And like you said, the ocean became this profound teacher. He tells the story about a garbage man he surfed with at Diamond Head.
A garbage man?
Yeah, apparently the happiest guy ever. And this guy drops this piece of wisdom on him that just sticks. He says there are 2 ways to be rich. Make a ton of money or desire little.
Make a ton of money or desire little. Simple, but deep.
Right. The garbage man basically said if he can get his surf in and pick up his kids from school, he's the wealthiest man alive.
Wow. That really flips the script on what wealth means, doesn't it?
Totally.
It's not just accumulation. It's about wanting less. That's a powerful idea. If you intentionally cut back on consumption, define success your own way, maybe to surfing time or family time, you suddenly get back all this time, this mental space.
Yeah.
It's such a direct challenge to that default mode of more, more, more.
And he actually lived it. He took a sabbatical in Peru later.
Okay.
Taught English just 5 hours a month, enough to cover his basic needs.
5 hours a month, that's it.
Yep. And that freed up all his time for writing, reading, and surfing, of course.
That really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How much of our own time are we just trading away for more stuff? Are we valuing time itself?
It's a huge question. And that desire for time, for maybe useless things, that connects right to his poetry.
The poetry.
He jokes his dad, a construction worker, always said he picked the 2 most useless things for his PhD. Philosophy and poetry, at least in terms of ROI.
I could hear a dad saying that.
But for Zachary, poetry isn't useless. It's play. It's valuable. He actually liked writing it in Spanish first.
Why Spanish?
Less vocabulary, fewer rules, he said. More playful. He could say burnt stars for fireworks, More creative freedom, less baggage.
Interesting. Constraints leading to creativity.
Yeah, and that Peru sabbatical, it was specifically to study Peruvian poetry. He lived with this amazing poet and philosopher, Ruben Quiroz,
Okay.
and Ruben challenged him, said, if you write, you have to share. Otherwise, you're just being selfish.
Whoa. Strong words.
Yeah, the idea that art, even if you make it for yourself, is meant to be experienced by others, that really hit Zachary.
Puts a different spin on creativity. A responsibility almost.
So he published his first little poetry book. They call it a plaquette, like a short, nice collection, called A Madrid, a love poem to the city. Published in Peru, and now he publishes with a nonprofit in England. Gives the work away. For the principal, not profit.
Really?
Yeah, much to his mom's disappointment. She compares him to Harry Potter, asking why he can't make millions.
Oh, moms. But that commitment to principle over profit is significant.
He sees poetry and body surfing, too, as these processing spaces, places to work through things he can't quite figure out elsewhere.
That makes a lot of sense. Those useless pursuits, they have immense value, just maybe not the kind we usually measure.
Exactly.
In a world so focused on productivity, on tangible results, art often gets pushed aside, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But like Ruben Caro said, maybe there's a responsibility in sharing it. The emotional richness, the intellectual workout you get from passions like poetry or body surfing, it balances things out. It gives you a space for making sense of it all that, a regular job might not.
A different kind of wealth.
Precisely. Not all value is currency.
So beyond passions, what about his foundations? Mentors, philosophies. He gives huge credit to his parents. Said they came from tough backgrounds, but really intentionally built this supportive family, sacrificed for their kids' dreams, gave him that safety net.
That safety net idea again, it sounds crucial, especially for someone taking such an unconventional route.
Yeah, how vital is that kind of support, really?
Oh, it's fundamental. It's the bedrock.
Yeah.
What Zachary's story shows is the power of that unconditional belief from family. When you have that, it frees you up psychologically. You can take those calculated risks, you can pivot, explore, follow something that resonates deeply.
Without the fear of absolute disaster if it doesn't work out immediately.
Exactly. It gives you the breathing room needed for real growth and experimentation. It's not just about individual courage, it's often enabled by that supportive base.
And intellectually, any key thinkers for him? Yeah, he mentioned Miguel de Unamuno, the Spanish philosopher, especially this idea of the prayer of the atheist.
Tell me more.
It's about grappling with reason and faith. Believing, but not quite believing. That tension. For Zachary, it reflected his own struggle between his religious background and his rational side.
Okay.
And it taught him something important. It's okay to be lost as long as you continue to move, because you'll find your way eventually through that movement.
I like that. Acceptance of being lost, but emphasis on action.
Right. And he also mentioned Albert Camus, the existentialist, the stranger.
Classic.
Taking from it the idea of, understanding your situation, accepting it, and then just making the best of it you can. Now, here's maybe the most surprising part. He identifies as a Mormon anarchist.
Okay. Mormon anarchist. Those two words don't usually hang out together. What does that mean for him?
Yeah, it sounds like a total contradiction. But he explains anarchism not as chaos, which is the common idea.
Right, bombs and disorder.
Exactly. But for him, it's about getting rid of rigid top-down power structures, like a boss over employees. Instead, it's about horizontal power, shared power within a community, people working together as equals, making decisions collectively, like a tiny, true democracy.
Okay, so community-focused, shared responsibility.
Right, and he reconciles it with his Mormon faith by seeing his relationship with God as parallel, like working alongside God, existing on the same level, not under a top-down authority.
Interesting framing, a partnership model almost.
Yeah, and the core principle tying it together is your rights begin where other rights end.
The classic libertarian socialist balance point.
Kind of. Be considerate. Don't take every wave when you're surfing, Your freedom shouldn't stomp on someone else's.
That's actually a really compelling synthesis. Weaving together these things that seem opposed on the surface, it really speaks to critical thinking, doesn't it? Recognizing life isn't black and white. Lots of things are balanced on a line. He seems to embody that live and let live idea, but with that crucial layer of community responsibility. Sometimes you give up a little personal freedom for the group's well-being.
Right. Finding your own mix of contradictions.
Exactly. And realizing that true freedom often involves mutual respect, shared responsibility. It's not just about doing whatever you want.
And speaking of unexpected things that shaped his path, Rugby.
Rugby. Okay, add that to the list.
Seriously. He played semi-pro rugby in Europe for 15 seasons.
15 seasons. Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a side thing. It was key to him staying in Spain. Got him a scholarship for school and housing, let him travel, meet tons of people.
So rugby enabled the academic and cultural journey.
Pretty much. And he learned big life lessons from it, too. Like, you're only as strong as the weakest player.
The importance of the whole team.
Yeah, building everyone up, not just relying on the stars. And he loved the third half.
The third half.
The tradition where rival teams hang out together after the game, socialize, have a drink. It humanizes the opposition, builds camaraderie beyond the fight on the field.
That's fantastic. Rugby, this really physical, competitive sport, teaching about community and lifting each other up.
Yeah.
That weakest player insight is such a powerful metaphor for any group, any community. True strength is collective.
Totally.
And the third half. What a great lesson in looking past conflict, finding shared humanity. We could use more of that everywhere.
No kidding. So fast forward to today. He's back in Hawaii, lives there with his wife. She's Spanish. They met in Spain. They speak Spanish like 90% of the time at home.
Okay.
And they have 2 daughters, 8 and 6, raising them bilingual.
How does that work logistically?
His wife speaks mostly Spanish to them, like 80%. He speaks mostly English, maybe 80%. And the kids' language is fascinating. Early on, they didn't really separate, say, car and coche. They just thought they had a huge vocabulary with 2 words for everything.
That's brilliant. A bigger world of words.
Exactly. And when they visit Spain, apparently their Spanish just explodes. They pick up complex stuff like the subjunctive mood, for wishes, doubts, and future tenses, just from being immersed.
The power of immersion again.
Totally. And at home in Hawaii, they've got this unique family dialect emerging, a mix of English, Spanish, Hawaiian Pidgin, plus Spanish words the kids kind of invent based on their own logic.
Wow, a living language evolving right there in our house. That's amazing.
So bringing it all together, what's the big takeaway here? Zachary's deep dive, it really shows how life's biggest moments, the most impactful ones, often pop up on the detours, right?
The unexpected turns.
The turns that force you to adapt, to grow. It really drives home the value of following passions, even the quote-unquote useless ones like poetry. And it highlights this richness you can find in life by choosing time, choosing experience over just more consumption.
Yep.
It really challenges us, I think. Makes you ask, where in my life could I find more wealth by maybe wanting less? And am I holding back something I've created? Being selfish, like Ruben Quiro said, when maybe it could connect with someone else?
Those are powerful questions to sit with. And if you zoom out, his story is just such an eloquent case for embracing ambiguity. Being okay with being lost sometimes. Finding that balance between reason and faith or individual freedom and community. Recognizing that your own freedom actually thrives best when it's part of a supportive community fabric. It's about finding your unique mix of contradictions, the things that make you authentically you. And just letting life's currents sometimes take you places you didn't plan.
Letting the currents guide you. I like that. So to wrap up, we asked Zachary the question from our previous guest. Who are you when no one's watching?
His answer.
Simple. Profound, he said. A husband that loves his wife and a father that loves his daughters.
Wow. Grounded.
Yeah. And he leaves a question for our next ghost. If you could create something, what would it be?
Ooh, good one. Open-ended.
It is. So thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the unexpected currents of Zachary Payne's life.
It is fascinating.
Well, you found as much insight and maybe inspiration as we did.